Now, nobody has ridden all the snowboards, and if they haven't ridden any one snowboard enough to get a proper feel for it. So these reviews, you need to take them, and that's mine included, you need to take them with a pinch of salt, because all they are is one person's opinion on what you should ride for the season. And that person's opinion is based on what they like to ride, what their preferences are, but also on their size, their weight, and their boot size as well. So that doesn't mean they're worthless, no. But you just have to kind of understand that these top lists, you know, you can't really rank snowboards from best to worst. They are just our opinion. So rather than this being a top 5 list or whatever, this is more my process of how I came to pick my top snowboard for 2022. And money where my mouth is, it's under my feet right now. Now the good news is that most boards out there are pretty good. They're quite hard pressed these days to find a really shoddy board. You've just got to make sure you find the one that is right for you. So an all-mountain board, as the name might suggest, is often a good place to start. But what I was looking for was something outside this category, something a little bit more unique, something that I could still keep under my feet all season, that for me would act as an all-mountain board, that I would ride in any terrain, in any condition, yet it would have a little bit more flavour than your bog standard all-mountain board.
So first, I filter out a whole load of boards, like 99% of them, because I'm looking for a wide board, specifically one with a waist width of at least 265 millimeters. Mainly, it's because I have big feet and getting toe or heel drag is the worst. This happens when you put the board on an edge and your boots dig in the snow, causing you to wipe out. Furthermore, I love to lay out Euro calves, and having any boot hang at all here, well, it's just not going to work. I know that a twinish board is more of my preference, as I still like to ride a lot of switch, but I could be tempted into something a little bit more directional. Generally, I prefer regular camber, but I've definitely had great boards with other profiles in the past. So looking at boards within those parameters, I came across Amplid. They're a German brand who have some really forward-thinking shapes combined with some really high-end and unique tech. On top of this, most of their shapes are focused on freeriding and carving, my two favourite things to do.
Woo. Man, it is good to be back riding proper winter snow. I was up here on the summer, riding on the glacier, which is underneath us right now, and it's just not the same. It gets so hot throughout the day. The snow, it just really melts and turns to this thick, soupy porridge, and overnight it completely refreezes and it turns into, well, just have a look at this next clip and you'll see. It is seriously icy. It might look quite nice. There's a little bit of dust, but we're pretty much on the bare glacier. This is sheet ice. Can't make a snowball or anything. This is as solid as it gets. But just watch the edge hold on this thing. Alright, let's go.
So this is the Souly Grail, the first board from Amplid that really tempted me. I knew it was probably too directional for me, but I really wanted to try it out anyway. And man, this thing did not disappoint. It's a powder board for sure, but just being a powder board these days isn't good enough, and this board is certainly more than that. It is an absolute carving machine. What really impressed me was how easy to ride this board was, and unlike a lot of other carving boards that only really make one turn size, this board was easy to manipulate into making any turn, size and shape. On top of that, it's filled with some seriously high-end tech, including anti-phase, which reduces chatter and vibration in the nose by creating what is called a non-Newtonian sandwich. Yeah, that went over my head too. But the bottom line is that it worked, and this board ripped. So if you're looking for a great powder and carving board, check it out in the link below. And if you want, you can even ride it on the bare glacier too. Not recommended.
So that was the Souly Grail. The Amplid actually sent me out 2 other boards to try, the Dada and the Killswitch. On paper, I really thought the Killswitch, that was going to be the board for me.
That was because the Killswitch looked essentially like a more twinish and therefore more versatile version of the Souly Grail. That is doing this board somewhat of a disservice though, as it definitely has its own unique feel to it. Charging big open powder faces is definitely where this board would be at home, and it always wanted to just go hard and charge fast. And this is one board that I would really like to test again in proper winter conditions for it to reach its full potential. Because as you can see again here, the snow was rapidly running out at the end of the summer. But it was more when I was riding Switch and messing around at slower speeds that I couldn't really seem to get this board to come alive. Now, I definitely rode it in some of the stickiest, thick slush that I've ever ridden in, so perhaps that's why I didn't get on so well with this board. Yes, I'm sure it is a competent big mountain charger, but ultimately it lacked the slow speed, fun and agility that I'm looking for in my ultimate winter deck.
So you can't judge a book by its cover, and there are a few other boards that I really wanted to try out, but I just didn't get a chance to get my hands on them. But we'll give them an honourable mention just because, well, they tickle my fancy. So first up, we have the GNU Banked Country. Next, the Karua Otto. After that, the Nidecker something or other, what's it called? I've forgotten it. The Nidecker Instinct Alpha, that's it. And also, there's one more in there, I know there is. Oh, that's it. It's been around for a while, but there's a special edition this year, the Yes 420 JP Solberg Unink edition. So yeah, have a little goosey gander at those beauties and tell me which one you like the most. Stick it down in the comments below. You know the drill.
Ooh, slick Rick on the YouTube game right there. Why not give me a like and a subscribe whilst you're at it? Go on, son. Okay, back to business. This is me on the Amplid Dada, and of all the boards I tested this summer, this was the one that I just kept coming back to. It was such a joy to ride, no matter where you took it and what the conditions were. Like the Ride Warpig or the K2 Party Platter, this is a volume shifted board, meaning you can downsize to a smaller board than you'd normally ride. And because of its super wide waist, it has the same surface area and therefore same float as a larger board, albeit in a smaller and far more nimble package. So that's what the brands say, that's the marketing hype. But so far, for me at least, this is the one board that has really lived up to that hype the most.
So that brings us right back here to the start of the winter 21-22 season. And you might have guessed it, my top pick is this, the Amplid Dada. I absolutely fell in love with this board, and it's going to effectively become the replacement for my Ride Warpig. Similar specs, but it's got a very different feel to it. And this board for me essentially just outperformed the Warpig in a lot of areas. It has really good snap in and out of the turns, and it was just a really fun, lively and energetic board. It's just a pleasure to ride. On top of that, it is something I can see myself riding day in and day out. It's twin enough that I can ride it Switch, and I'm going to take this through all conditions, and I can't wait to give it a go in the powder. So if we have a closer look at some of the tech in this board, it's got these cut-out sections in the tip and the tail with a honeycombed hexagonal construction thingy. I'm not too sure, but basically that keeps down the weight, and this board really is quite light. From tip to tail, you can see these carbon stringers running down the length of the board, and for me that really gives it the perfect flex. It's stiff enough when you bend it like a banana, and that's what gives it that lively poppy feel, but it's still reasonably soft torsionally, so you can really flex the board as you like, using your ankles and your knees independently. Flipping it around, got a nice black base, easy to repair when you get those dings in it. It's super fast, and yeah, there's probably some more tech going on in there, so make sure you check out their website in the link below. And I'd fully recommend their other boards as well. The Souly Grail was one of the most fun boards I've ever ridden, but it just wasn't quite that go-to board I'm looking for every day. For that, it was this, the Amplid Dada. Check it out. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna go and ride. It's been a while. Let's go. Start things off with a cheeky little tripod. Ooh, feel the stretch there. Need to do my yoga. Oh, really gets your inner thigh. Come on. Tell you what though, the nice square end of this board just helps you lock those in. Woo! Edge hold is phenomenal. So fun. Woohoo! Dived into that turn a little early, but alright, let's Give it a little spray. Oh man, you can just relax, sit on your edge, pulls you around, a little soft there, it pulls you around in a nice arc, just sit there, or you can be more aggressive, dive into it and bam, it really comes around nicely. Let's go for a cheeky Euro, shall we? Let's get down low, find a nice patch, a little bit slow, a bit more speed, here we go. Yes! Extra wide waist width means you're not going to catch your toes up there. Riding switch, lovely. It's not quite twin, but it's not bad. Woo! And it's happy at speed as well. Let's switch back around to regular. Oh yes. Awesome fun. Something slightly steeper, the smaller, tighter turns. My legs are getting tired. First day of the season. But yeah, you can just whip in, out, in, out, in, out. Yes. Just let it go. Woo! Flat basing, high speeds, no problem. Around we come. It's a wrap. Woo! Awesome.